All in good time, people.
Yeah,
all in good
right.
time.
It'll probably help if I was like Bluetooth connected to the things that I was supposed to be Bluetooth connected to.
Right.
Doesn't want to work. Oh, there it is. All right. Let's fucking go. Sweaty fucking football.
About that
There it
time.
is.
About that time.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Almost that time to ignore our women.
Oh, absolutely.
Never mind who you thought I was. I'm Rick James, bitch.
Stop! Stop! He's already dead.
Got some more drops.
I like it.
How you guys been?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you?
I'm doing okay, considering. I tell you that I totaled my car.
It can only go up from here.
That's right. Hey, my barber tells me whenever I'm having something fucked up in my life, and he goes, it only gets better from here, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
you know?
That's literally how I feel. I feel like oh, well, it can't get any worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then he goes, nah, it's not gonna get better, bro. So he
Oh,
just
damn.
lies to me, and I'm like, well, I believe it's gonna get better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is what it is. And I'm already chilling off of it.
Just
so.
be happy that you're still here, you're alive, you know.
Oh, yeah,
and doing
yeah.
well. You know what I
Just
mean?
being a fucking doof on the road. Just not looking out for old ladies and such.
Right.
Uber
It
everywhere
was
for a
it
little
was just karma. That's all. Just karma.
I don't know
That's
if it was
crazy karma, bro.
Yeah, I don't know if that's.
Well, I mean,
I don't know
because
if I've done
you were
anything.
trying to avoid the situation that you.
Oh yeah,
that-
I was trying to evade a cop, so I pulled I pulled into a subdivision that wasn't actually a subdivision. It was like a closed off road, so I had to then I was pulling into where the cop was so that he couldn't pull me over. So I pulled into the street that he was on, but then I realized, oh, I can't do anything on the street, so I immediately turned around and got behind him. And then when I got behind him, he moved out of the way and he turned on the street. And so I'm watching him go down the street, and I look to my left and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm good there. Look to my right and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm good there. And I was going to make a left turn, and I didn't look to my left one last time. And I just pulled out and that was great.
Yeah.
Lady in the car was like, I'm going to have a heart attack.
And then the cop that he tried to avoid pulled
Pulled right around.
Nah.
Pulled right around. I
That's
was like,
wild.
oh, so you got into an accident, buddy. It's like, yeah.
I can explain.
I can explain. Nah, man, it wasn't very much explaining to do. I was fucked.
Hey, but at least he, like you said, he let you go off like kind of a warning.
Yeah.
Pretty
yeah.
much.
Shit, he had
No,
to at that point.
Well, he hooked it up. He hooked it up from the
Oh,
tickets.
okay.
He hooked it up on the tickets. So
With tickets?
yeah, because you get a ticket when it's your fault. But he hooked it up. He did right by me. But anyway, welcome to the 8th episode of the Sports Panel. I am your host, Swill. Fellas, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
As I mentioned earlier, Pacifico Poppy.
All right. Oh, I'm just ordinary Greg.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
Greg.
We got a lot of topics that we'll be getting into today. First thing we'll do is start off with announcing that the preseason is here as of today. Preseason starts. Let me open up my handy dandy NFL app. Let's see. As of right now, Tampa Bay is beating Cincinnati. Kansas City is beating Jacksonville. New Orleans is beating Arizona. Atlanta lost to Miami. Pittsburgh won versus Houston.
They lost.
Pittsburgh won 12-2. Was it 12-2?
No, 20-12.
20-12. Oh, it's blocking the number. Okay.
Yeah.
Philadelphia defeated the Baltimore Ravens. The Jets got one up on Washington Commanders, or whatever their name is now. The Bears 33-6 versus Buffalo. Las Vegas fell to the Minnesota Vikings.
Really?
Green Bay defeated the Browns. San Francisco was defeated by the Tennessee Titans, and the Seattle Seahawks defeated the Los Angeles Clippers. I know they're the Chargers, but they're basically like the Clippers. Of
Yeah,
the city. Yeah, it's kind of weird how that worked out.
Yeah.
And it's even the matching colors.
Yeah.
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 And they were the San Diego Chargers, and the Clippers originated in San Diego.
That is true.
So they're literally the Clippers.
That'll never be.
Yeah. Yeah, the colors are kind of the same. The Lakers are a lot closer to the Rams than they are.
Yeah.
That's funny. That is funny.
One day they'll win the championship. Maybe.
No.
The Clippers? Never.
No, I'm just saying. But I'm saying the Chargers. Maybe they'll get a Super Bowl one day.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
They had Antonio Gates, LT, Phillip,
Yeah.
And lights out.
and still lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Junior Seau.
Yeah.
So,
They had a squad. But of course, preseason doesn't mean much. There are 6 weeks of preseason now, or
No,
4?
there's 3.
There's 3.
close to 3.
Yeah, because it
they
goes
lengthen the season.
Yeah, it goes 3, and then they do a bye week,
Oh.
and then goes into the regular season.
Yeah, and then the season is 18 games.
18 games.
Correct. Awesome.
So
So
I'm pretty sure probably by next year, in the next couple of years, they'll probably add another game in there.
yeah,
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 for
I'm sure.
Yeah.
If you want to extend that, because #revenue.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah. Of course, preseason doesn't really mean much.
No.
Doesn't really do much. Doesn't really.
It kind of just showcases the rookies and the secondary guys,
New talent.
right?
Seeing who they need to cut.
Right.
Things like that.
Absolutely.
There have been some standouts. There's been some big plays. There's been a lot of guys who are going to get attention. Miami is just coming up with more and more weapons somehow, some way. We're looking at how Baltimore's looking with their offense. There was the Bears. That was very surprising win, I guess, because they're just so goddamn terrible.
But like I was telling, but it's preseason.
It is.
They were facing what, second string, third string guys. Overall, Caleb played a good series, but did I see enough for me to say wow? No.
And we can kind of stay in this division a little bit because, of course, my team is the Rams.
Yeah.
But I'm from Michigan, so being a Michigan guy, you know the Lions pretty well. I'm
Right.
from Southwest Michigan,
Yeah.
so it's a little different. But you brought up something that was pretty interesting: the debate between J.J. McCarthy and
Caleb
Williams.
Yeah.
And you asked me a question earlier. Can you repeat the question that you asked me earlier?
Yeah. It is JJ McCarthy going to be better than Caleb Williams?
Yes, and I gave you an initial answer, and I kind of stand by it, but that's kind of a multifaceted question.
Yeah.
So basically, like you're not asking me who's the better player, but I feel like you're asking me who's going to have a better season. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and I think JJ McCarthy is going to have a better season
Then Caleb Williams?
than Caleb Williams because he's on a better team.
Yeah.
He has better weapons,
Yeah.
and he is a system guy who can come in and play your system. He's not super fast.
No.
He's not super dynamic.
Right.
He
the
does.
only downfall I can say, and don't get me wrong, no disrespect. The only downfall I could say, because we didn't see a lot of throwing from him because it was a run based offense.
Down the stretch, they passed the ball quite a bit.
I say when they were third downs.
third down situations.
Yeah, third down situations.
And
They were
and in the national championship game, they couldn't
Yeah.
just run it down.
No.
Yeah.
He lit it up.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But what I saw, stats wise from JJ McCarthy, and these are actually some really good stats. 11 out of 17 completions for attempts. 64.7 percentage of completions. 188 yards.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, 1 interception, but we expect that from a rookie.
And Caleb Williams was just he had no touchdowns, no interceptions, but
no
he
touchdown.
He had
but,
a nice play though.
But yeah.
Swift.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He had a very
he had
nice
the nice
play.
play.
Was
Now,
it no look pass or something like that?
It was like it was kind of like
That swoop?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
swoop.
Yeah.
I barely even saw it when I looked
Yeah.
at the highlights, and I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
But Caleb Williams, 57% completion, 95 yards, average 13.6 and 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Longest one was 42 yards.
I saw that one. That was a pretty nice play.
Yeah.
He can put the ball where it needs to go. He is the better player, and it's a little bit more interesting than just a division rival, because it's more like the national champion versus the number 1 pick.
Right.
Yeah.
Is kind of like the tell there.
Right.
But I mean, there was a reason why JJ McCarthy was, drafted, but he's more of your Brock Purdy than he is
Right.
your CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's your plug and play guy.
Right.
You put him in your system.
I think the
Exactly.
only reason why I say that I would say that JJ will have a better season is because that Minnesota line is better than Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, the team.
I think
is
Caleb's going to be running for his life,
And
just
that-
like
and-
Fields
and-
was,
and-
if not worse.
And
Yeah.
and that was the thing that I was explaining to one of my coworkers, Nick. We were talking about it, and that's what came with that question to you, Steve.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, we've increased our offensive line." I said, "Did you know?" Because as I was looking at that, as I was looking, it seemed like his I'll give you this: Caleb Williams' composure in the pocket is
so much
clean.
better.
Yes.
So much better. He's definitely a pocket guy. He's going to stay in the pocket,
Pocket.
and then he'll drift off to the right if
Yeah.
he needs to,
Right.
and get that pass off. But whatever he's
pocket's
putting in the
in-
air is going to be accurate.
Yeah.
It's going to be on a dime.
But there was a couple throws that I did not like from
JJ?
him. No.
Or from Caleb?
No, from Caleb.
Okay.
Like that one on the side, almost towards the sideline, where he kind of just he threw it off the run.
Yeah.
And it could have been intercepted because it was just like a throw you shouldn't have thrown. You could have just thrown it out
Right.
and been done with it. But I know he's trying to show flashes. He's trying
Yeah.
to show that I'm the guy. You know what I mean?
And when
and it's possible he can. It's possible that this year he could, because if you look at the next 11 games, it's really no competition, except for one team through that first 11 games.
Okay.
So he could possibly get 10 wins the first week, maybe possibly.
That's a lot of
Ooh,
trust.
that's strong.
No,
That's very strong.
and that comes a
That's
lot
strong.
from somebody that's not a fan.
It's not okay. The games are theirs to lose. Pretty
Like
much.
I can pull up their schedule.
Even.
Let me pull up their schedule so you guys can tell me if they'll win or lose.
Okay. And in the meantime, thinking about the comparison between those two players, not to say that they're the caliber of these two players, but the difference in style, it kind of makes me think of. I remember when Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were two of the best. That's when they were, two of the best quarterbacks in the league, undisputed. And their difference in style, how Peyton is kind of like shuffly, and how Tom Brady is more, I'm going to stay in this pocket, I'm going to get this shit off. That reminds me a lot of like Caleb Williams being the Brady and JJ McCarthy being the Peyton Manning.
I don't know.
Where JJ he might run around and move around and things like that, but
Yeah.
he's kind of more
But-
moving the ball.
Right. And I do like how McCarthy is more precise.
He's very poised.
He's very poised in the pocket.
Yeah.
He's very comfortable in the pocket, and he makes the right throws. Like
Right.
you explained.
I used to get anxiety watching Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Bro, because he called the audible 300 times during
Well,
the
I
play.
mean, but he was
That too, but
that guy
he would get the
That
ball.
was
and
him,
do a
though,
lot
like
of
that.
things.
absolutely,
him.
absolutely. But the thing about Peyton Manning was, he was like Urlacher, because when Urlacher, he could read offenses.
Yeah.
And that's what Peyton was. He can read the
He's
defense.
definitely a general on the field.
Yes.
Definitely a general. And that's kind of how I see JJ McCarthy is. He's someone who's going to move the ball down the field.
Exactly.
And he's going to push the ball really hard, really fast.
Especially when you have one of the top
Justin Jefferson.
when you have one of the top wide receivers in the game, like he's gonna do some damage. Like the Bears have some good pieces. Don't get me wrong; they have, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
if he stays
Cole
healthy,
Kmet.
Cole Kmet, and finally, I love the fact that Cole Kmet is actually coming out as what he should have been 3 to 4 years ago.
Yeah,
When
'cause he was a stud
when
in
they
college.
when they drafted him, because they
Yeah.
said he was going to be the next Gronk, basically. You know what I mean? Next big wide, catching vertical wide, basically a wide receiver. And those 3 years they didn't use him. They used him as a blocker. And I'm like, why are you using somebody that's
Right.
like a high pick and you guys fucking just used him as a as a certified blocker? That's not what he's there. That's not what he's there for. I'm just not bought. I'm not bought. That's the one thing I do like what I see in Caleb, but I'm not bought into the Kool-Aid that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, I'm not either.
No. And I just pulled up the regular season. Okay. And you guys can let me know if they're gonna win or lose.
Nah.
Okay. Titans.
Lose.
It's Titans with no Derrick Henry.
But still DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. DeAndre Hopkins, he's
And Will Levis did finish off in a strong.
they did.
Strong.
It could
The
be
Derrick Henry does hurt though. The
So
Derrick
that's-
Henry hurts bad.
It's a toss up.
It is a toss up. Okay. Let's move on. Texans, they're losing.
Lose.
The Bears are losing. The Colts.
Win.
Yeah,
No.
they can
no,
win that game.
I'm gonna go lose.
They can
Anthony
win- they can
Richardson
win.
was a dog when
they can
when
win
he
that
was
game.
healthy. I don't think so.
Their quarterback isn't.
He's nice.
Okay. The third one's against your Rams.
They're gonna Bears lose.
Bears
Bears
lose.
lose.
Yeah.
Okay. Panthers, they're winning.
Yeah.
The Bears are
everybody
winning.
wins against the Panthers.
Yeah.
Jaguars.
Lose.
They can win that game.
Trevor Lawrence.
Ah.
Trevor. You know.
No, they lose. They lose that game. They lose that game.
What, the Bears lose that game?
Yeah, Jags won that game.
Okay, so how many losses do they have?
I mean, it's like 3 toss ups and like 3 losses.
Okay. So then you got the Commanders.
I think they can win that game.
That's
Okay.
a win.
Cardinals,
Win.
They can win that game.
Patriots.
They can win that
They
game.
could. Yeah, that's a win.
I was hoping you guys were going to say, hey, that defense can probably hold them down. The Packers, they lose that game. They lose that
They
game.
lose that game.
Vikings, they lose that game.
They win. Where's it
Bears.
at?
It doesn't say. It just
Okay.
says the time.
And it won't matter.
They lose that game.
You think so? Yeah, they lose that game.
The Bears,
Yeah, Bears
Yeah.
lose that game.
the Lions.
Bears
They lose.
They lose.
Oh, 49ers, they lost. They're losing that game.
They lose.
And then they go against the Vikings again.
They win.
You think they split?
They split.
And then it's Detroit again.
Lose.
They lose.
And then the Seahawks.
Lose.
Win.
And then Green Bay again.
Lose.
So that's like
Half.
half. That's like,
But the thing is like, are their coaches going to be able to win those games? Are they going to be able to put together, game winning drives? Are they going to be able to push the ball? Are they going to be able to stop, make efficient stops? Those are the things that are going to be important because those games are going to be close.
yeah.
They're not blowing anybody out.
No.
There's no game where they're blowing. I don't expect any team to play them.
The
and feel
only
like
game
they're
that I
not
see
in it.
that they blow out of the park is probably going to be the Panthers.
And then again, you just don't know
That's true.
because what if Young? What is it, Bryce Young?
Bryce Young. What if he What if he lights it up?
Yeah. What if he's on a vendetta this season?
He does have nice weapons this year. I mean, he has.
He has
Adam Thielen and
he has
Deontay
Deontay Johnson. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Who is?
He's serviceable. Deontay Johnson's serviceable.
He does, but he drops so many easy passes. I watched him in Pittsburgh for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
pissed me
but
off so much.
coming on a new team,
That's the thing. When you got something to prove, it might
That's
be
true.
different.
That's true.
I mean, you don't know.
But that's even if the wide receiver core stays healthy
yeah.
and DeAndre Swift stays healthy.
Yeah.
Because We know D Swift is very
Dangerous.
when he's in the game. But the problem is that he doesn't stay healthy. I know that for a fact because in Detroit, I had him twice in my fantasy, and I had to literally draft Jamal Williams just to make sure that this guy, because I knew he got hurt. Well, at least I have Jamal Williams to back up.
What did he do last year? He had a 3 or 4 touchdown game. And then after that was
that's because in the Eagles, I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's basically like the tush push. You know what I mean? I mean, it took a lot. That took a lot of his legs. That took a lot of his running.
Yeah. So real quick, when it comes to the Bears, I mean, not to make it a Bears cast, but what do you see the Bears record next season?
I see them going
7-10.
Yeah, 7-10-1.
6. No, I'm gonna change it. 6-11.
Oh.
Because it's 18 games, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 6-12.
Oh, okay.
I see him going 8. What is it? 8 and 9? No. Yeah.
8-10.
8-10. Yeah.
Yeah. I say 7-10-1.
Okay.
A tie?
Yeah. There's gonna be something weird with that.
Probably something with the Commanders.
But like I said, I said if everybody stays healthy, but which we know some of those key players that they do have that they signed, like Keenan Allen for that 1 year, that if he stays healthy, he could be a good piece. But if he doesn't,
he has to stay healthy too, though, because he has that history with that hamstring.
Yeah,
no, but that's what I'm saying.
Every time you draft him in fantasy, hamstring.
Well, I mean, and even health is important in any sport, but I think it's less important in football unless you're a quarterback or a running back, or excuse me, unless you're a quarterback, really.
Yeah,
because the positions, there's so many diamonds in the rough that you can find that'll just next man up,
right?
You know,
absolutely. And another thing too is if that defense stays healthy as well.
Yeah,
because that's going to be a top 10 defense, like the Bears. I mean, with Montez Sweat. I mean, come on, Montez Sweat and the pieces that they have around there. I feel
off
like
reputation or off of actual skill.
I mean, off of actual skill. I mean, when that defense upgraded when they picked up the Sweat.
Yeah, I mean, you know a little bit more about him than I do. I
still think they still have a top 10 defense even before Sweat, but it just upgraded them to that. And I feel like
with that secondary,
I don't know.
Secondary was crazy.
Yeah,
not in a good way.
No, I know. Well, that's because that's a good way. Well, that's
what are you doing?
Well, that's because they got rid of a couple pieces in that secondary.
They did.
They got rid of a couple pieces because they knew they weren't going to be able to pay them. And then, I mean, Jackson was getting to that age where it was like, you know,
he was so good when he first started.
Oh yeah, but that's what me and Steve talked about on the last pod or a couple pods. But it's like you go to the Bears to kind of die.
Yeah. There's a couple die teams out there.
Tennessee.
You know? No.
Tennessee is terrible.
Oh, yeah,
that's a death team.
I think if you put on a Tennessee uniform, you gotta retire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other thing too, I mean, we talk about the Bears. I mean, like I said, it's the Bears. We can't sit there. A lot of fans are excited, and I guess that's great because that's, you know, more people are going to want to go to go see the games. What, you know, any season ticket holders, they're going to want to go see the Bears play. I mean, and I guess that's good for ticket ratings and all that shit. But
it's a new start
it's a new start. It's a fresh start for the Bears.
Third time.
Real quick before I don't want to leave that idea. What are the death teams in the NFL?
Tennessee Cardinals.
Oh, Cardinals are a death team.
Yeah,
they destroyed Emmitt Smith and Adrian Peterson.
I
don't feel like Chicago really is. No one really goes to Chicago.
A lot of players did go to Chicago
they do
as free agents.
Agents, yeah.
Jets. If you're a running back, you go to the Jets.
Yeah,
you're done. Dalvin Cook. Matt
Yeah.
Forte. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Anybody going to the Jets? Fucking Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
that was the quickest season ever. Easy money.
But I was a little bit excited. I was actually impressed with not with Drake May with my Patriots. I was. I still see he still needs a lot of work. He still needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
And
Where was he drafted?
He third overall.
Okay.
I don't think he's it's not that he's ready. I don't think he's ready to he's not ready to start, I'll tell you that. But I think he just needs a little bit more time with the playbook and his reads and see the field, because like the only two good plays that he did was like a dink and dunk. Like it was just like a toss to the running back, and then it was like, okay, I wanted to see a little bit more. I want to see that pizzazz that you did in North Carolina. And what's crazy is that last year in North Carolina, he really didn't have a good offensive line and not really good weapons. So I was expecting a little bit more. I was expecting him to utilize what he had and kind of just give me a little bit more pizzazz.
I think he'll be successful later on.
He will. He will,
North
for sure.
Carolina's not a football school at all. And he was still successful.
No, absolutely. But my boy, Bazooka Joe, he showed some pizzazz. Like that man, like I think he picked up the offense a little bit better. And I want to say his reads were a lot better. He made cleaner throws. Also, that scramble that he did on the outside, I don't know if you saw the highlights on that. Oh, it was nasty. It was nasty. He went from one side, moved all the way over to the left side, and then got like 13, 14 yards on the run. And then this fake one he did a little fake throw and then ran it in, got another first down. So that was exciting to see. He showed pizzazz. Yeah. He showed up. And I think that's what it was, because I think it's Bailey Zappi and him competing for that third spot. And I believe Bailey Zappi's he's gonna be gone,
because he was decent. Isn't that
no?
great?
Bailey Zappi still showed a little because he's been with the offense. He knows a little bit. But Bazooka Joe, or Joe Milton, he will, if he doesn't make the third cut, if he doesn't make the third spot, he'll get picked up from another team and he'll do good.
I think one quarterback competition I am excited for is I'm going to bring him up, Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields.
Yeah, no, that's going to be
Justin Fields didn't have a great first preseason. 2 fumbles and a snap. It happens.
Yeah.
First game jitters. It happens.
Yeah, but we can't say first game jitters, because it's not like he's a rookie.
Yeah,
it's a different system.
It's a different system.
System.
No. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't want him to fall into his same routine that he usually does. I just don't like. If you wanted to go to Pittsburgh, so you need to show up, show out. You know what I mean? Prove to everybody prove to Chicago, prove to the people that doubted you.
Who's QB1 going into the season?
I think it's going to be Russell Wilson.
It's going to be Russ.
Okay.
For now.
Only for the simple fact that he's
Russell. So
yeah,
Russell.
Right. Yeah.
Michael Penix and
Kirk Cousins.
Who's QB1 in Atlanta?
It's Kirk.
It's Kirk.
Kirk.
They're paying him all that money. You can't.
You got to pay him.
Yeah. And
play him.
And what kills me, I don't know. I'm kind of in the air with Michael Penix. I don't know what he's gonna bring to the table.
He had a good showing today.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Did he? He did well.
Yeah, he did well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kirk Cousins isn't playing until week 1. So.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're gonna see a lot of Michael Penix. But like I said, it's gonna be a toss up. I hope for my team, I hope they ride with Jacoby Brissett for the whole entire season. And maybe if we suck so bad that to the point where the last 5 games, then throw Drake May in there.
It's a good problem you guys have in New England, having 3 quarterbacks
It's a fresh start.
Yeah, that's the way you want to have it post Brady.
Absolutely.
I wish it would have happened for you guys
Belichick.
3 years ago, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a fresh start. And
hey, it is a fresh start because and like I said, we talked about this on the last podcast where we were talking about Mac Jones and the situation that he was in, and I don't believe it was all his fault. I think it just throughout that time, like this first year was rookie of the year. He Pro Bowl, playoff, and we all thought, okay, this is the guy.
Yeah.
And then the second year, you got Matt. What was his name? He was like a defensive coordinator.
Oh, Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia,
Right.
as your offensive coordinator,
Right.
with Joe Judge.
Right.
Them matching and that was just a fucking.
Yeah, I don't feel like they had the right people in the building for
Well,
Mac
that was
Jones.
because Bill.
Oh, yeah.
That was because of Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick was like, "Well, I can control this guy because we didn't have McDaniels anymore because he went to the Raiders,
Right.
And Bill, he doesn't like to. He likes to pick people that he can say, hey, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and I think that's where the downhill for Mac Jones was. Because it was like a mental thing. Like, and then that third year, they bring an actual offensive coordinator,
And then it's like he's a rookie all over again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You think they should have kept him?
Mac Jones, no.
No.
No, New England destroyed his mental, destroyed the way he, because that first year, I mean,
He'll get a shot this year.
no, he will. He
You
will.
think so? With
Yeah.
Jacksonville?
With
Over Trevor?
not over Trevor.
Not
but-
over Trevor,
If
but
Trevor gets hurt or something?
Yeah, something. I mean, you can't go a season without using your this ain't the '90s. You can't go a season without using your backup these days.
That's true.
right.
You're gonna use them.
Yeah.
But I do like. Oh, and then another news. They I think if I'm not mistaken, they just dropped Juju.
Oh, yeah, they did drop Juju.
I
I think if once 49ers make their decision, I think they sign Juju.
Oh yeah, we can move right into that. So, I mean, you guys probably know a little bit more about that about this than anything,
Absolutely.
but something's going on with these wide receivers and not showing up for camp, and their owners and the wide receivers are definitely at odds. But you guys can kind of take it away from here.
So I just saw this when I was going into my thing, but I guess CeeDee Lamb wants an extension.
And Jerry Jones
and
said
Jerry-
he's in no rush.
He is in no rush. He said they asked him. He's like, "Are you good? Are you any closer into?" He's like, "No, I'm just I'm in no rush."
I would take that as disrespect.
Also, when they asked if they were going to trade him, he said he has no interest in trading him. So,
Yeah, I would take that as
I don't want to pay you,
But I'm not going to trade you.
right.
And now he basically is holding out. He hasn't done mandatory team practices. He's probably not he's not practicing right now. He's not he's basically holding out. He's gonna do a Le'Veon Bell right now. Yeah. I feel like he is. I'm not.
I think so too.
Do
Yeah.
you think he deserves it?
I do.
I mean, dude,
Bro, dude was a monster.
He
is a monster.
He did double what Ayuk did
Right.
in yards, and he's their number one option.
True, but then like 40. Like,
But
that's a hard comparison though,
it is-
because Ayuk got like,
No,
you got 49ers
no,
with
don't
Debo.
get me wrong. Ayuk, and I talked about it. Ayuk is, but in stats, CeeDee Lamb's better.
CeeDee
than,
yeah, for
CeeDee
sure.
is better than.
Not
Yeah,
to
I'd rather
serious
take
us out
CD
either.
over Ayuk.
Not to serious us out or either or anything like that, but it just feels like out of all the sports that are slavery-ish, and the NFL is really like the most slavery-ish of all the
Yeah.
sports.
Absolutely.
The way they
Definitely.
do the combine, where they're measuring their bodies and
Yeah.
examining them, looking at their
Right.
hands and their wingspan, and then jump and do this and whatnot. And they have these hundreds of players coming in, and just the way that they view their value over time and how they treat their value via their contracts. It just seems like they're the nastiest of the bunch when it comes to, these aren't players, these are our cattle, these are our herd.
Right.
It's just it's so weird to me. And I definitely get slave owner vibes from Jerry Jones. Like
But what's
he
crazy?
gives me slave owner vibes.
But what's crazy is that for me, it's kind of odd that Jerry Jones he does this. It's kind of odd because
It's odd that a 70-something year old man
I'm saying, no. It's odd that he holds out on this shit. Like it's the same thing with Dak. The first, when Dak wanted his extension, when Dak wanted his money, he held out for. What did he do? He did a franchise tag, and then he was gonna franchise tag him again, and Dak was like, "No, motherfucker."
We did the same thing with Zeke too, no?
No, Zeke. He paid out Zeke, right? He paid not right, but he paid out Zeke right away.
They struggled with it a little bit.
Yeah, they did. And
Yeah,
they
they
didn't want to pay Zeke.
Feud, no.
That's why they let him go. I mean, that's why
No,
they cut
but-
him.
I mean, now he's back, but
Oh yeah, Zeke is back on the Cowboys.
yeah.
Well, okay, so look at this.
No, but the problem is that you what happens is and I understand like you got to pay all your guys, but
Right.
the more you hold out, the more expensive it gets.
Yeah.
Because then when the next quarterback the next wide receiver, next quarterback gets paid, that wide receiver is going to want to get
It's
paid.
cheaper to keep her.
Yeah.
They could have done this extension last year with
Yeah.
CD,
Yeah.
and it would have been cheaper.
And a lot of these different sports, if you're noticing, like in baseball, and also in basketball, I've seen it too. They've been jumping on giving extensions now early.
Bro, crazy extensions.
Like,
too.
but that's because they know that the revenue is gonna go up, which means the salary cap is gonna go up, which means that he may be 25% of my cap this year, but next year and the year after he'll only be 15 and 10% of my cap.
Right.
And then also, one thing that I realized this when I sold cars. Like when you work for a business, for you it's a job, for them it's their business. Mm-hmm. And the Dallas Cowboys are a business owned by Jerry Jones in partnership with the NFL.
I just don't think they want to win.
No, Jerry's
win
never been
at all,
interested in
bro.
winning.
I mean,
Jerry's never been interested in winning.
what changed now? Because before he was paying everybody, he was paying all his guys.
Are you sure?
Tony Romo,
Dez Bryant.
Dez had to struggle. I think Dez had to ask to get paid.
but he still got paid though.
He got paid when he
They just hold out to the point where, but he was getting paid. Zeke got paid.
Well, I mean,
Dak Prescott got paid.
He's gonna pay CD Lamb.
But then you got to pay Micah Parsons too. You're not going to be able to. You're not.
He's very begrudgingly going to do it. He's not going to let those two pillars of the entire.
And then you still got
Unless
to.
they
And then you got to.
someone new.
And then you got to extend Dak.
Yeah.
And Dak's gonna want $60 million a year.
Oh God, he
I
doesn't.
don't think he deserves it.
He doesn't, but somebody if he doesn't pay,
Someone's gonna give it to
some
him.
team will pay him $60 million a year.
I think we look at it a different way because it isn't our money, but it's his money.
Yeah.
Like he's paying Dak directly $30-something million a year or whatever his salary is. So I'm sure he looks at it differently because there's nothing in the rules that say I have to pay you right now.
No, I'm not saying I'm not
paying
saying
you
right
because
now.
you want it.
But this is
there's nothing that it doesn't behoove me to reset the
absolutely.
market
No,
on you
I'm
right
not
now.
I'm not saying that, but the problem is this is Dak's last year.
Yeah.
And
To prove himself?
No, this is Dak's last year
as a
until he goes into free agency.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
if you're not going to pay him, some team will pay him that money.
If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, I pay Lamb, I pay Parsons, fuck Dak.
Yeah.
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 You can, I mean, because if
There's been so many instances.
There's so many backups too that you could
no,
trade
but the
make
problem is,
trades over
but
to.
if they're really serious about, if they're not serious about winning, like Steve just mentioned right now, they're not serious about
They're not
winning.
serious
So
about
why,
winning.
so why are we gonna pay? Why are you gonna pay Dak Prescott all that money if you're not serious about
No,
winning?
and I can call, and I can, let's say Mac Jones has a stellar year, right? He shows a little promise, and I can just call Mac Jones and now I got my quarterback of the future again.
Yeah, and you can pay him pennies to the dollar too because it's not.
Hey, what he's working out good for you guys? You guys like this Russell Wilson guy? Okay, cool. Let me get that other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
right.
Let me get Fields real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't you guys? Who was it? Who was the quarterback that you guys just traded away?
Kenny Pickett.
Where did he go?
Philly.
So the Eagles to die.
Kenny Pickett, right?
Bro,
Right.
Bum.
Maybe, but maybe the doubt. You
See,
got to look
but-
at it the way that you got to
yeah.
look at it the way that they look
Yeah.
at baseball players.
That's
Like,
true.
okay, he's off because of this, and that. If I get him with such and such in my training staff, we could fix that, and now we got this.
That's true.
I know Kenny Pickett was ass, but I mean, but there's other guys who are sitting on. Well, the point that
Well,
I'm trying to say is that
yeah.
there are 32 teams, but there are probably 36 or 37 starting quarterbacks in the
Yeah.
NFL.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
You know, so out of that, I mean, okay, Dak, you go somewhere and find that money. I'm gonna find such and such. He'll take $4 million.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And then just in case he goes down, I'm gonna sign some. Kirk Cousins doesn't like it over there in Atlanta. I'm gonna sign him too. I'm going to trade for him.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's different ways that
No,
you can go.
No, absolutely.
But
Like,
I don't think that they have any interest. They're gonna pay CeeDee Lamb because there's not many people who can do CeeDee Lamb's job. But the quarterback position is looking more and more like a Brock Purdy position,
Right.
Than it is a
it's okay. They got Trey Lance. They can ride with him.
I forgot about dude.
yeah.
They can ride. I mean, shit.
I forgot about him.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why they traded for him was because they knew they weren't going to pay Dak Prescott
Right.
for next year.
Right.
And that's that. I mean, shit. If they're
I totally forgot that Dallas has Trey Lance.
yeah,
Yeah, like fuck that. I am not gonna pay Dak.
No.
Trey Lance, you have your next quarterback right there in your like right there.
right.
Stop. I'm not paying Dak at all. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, they got to trade for Trey Lance. No, he's already on the fucking team.
right.
Nah, it's deuces, bro. Deuces. And I can re-up Trey Lance right now for $1 million a year for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Lions.
No, nobody's a fan of Lance.
Not really, but I mean, he's probably
He'll get you by.
He's probably the same as Dak Prescott, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
He's basically-
he's a
In the
great.
playoffs, yes.
No,
Dak Prescott in the playoffs is,
it's garbage.
Garbage.
He's trash.
and that's Trey Lance.
And I've
It's all 18 weeks.
I mean, I feel like
at this point for me, I feel like the way and Jerry Jones is he if he's not in a rush, that's great. But the problem is now you've already set in stone, and now CeeDee Lamb knows,
yeah.
and now he feels like okay, you're not in a rush, pay me. All right, well
Say less.
Basically, you just and there's a possibility you just lost your guy.
And I feel like Trey Lance is the Matthew Stafford of Dak Prescott's.
Oh my god.
That's wild.
Oh my god.
You like that? You like what I did there? Trey
I don't
Lance
know.
is the Matthew Stafford of Dak Prescott's. Think about it. He is.
I can't.
But it makes perfect sense.
It does, but-
It's perfect. It makes perfect sense.
It does, but it does and it doesn't.
Like Matthew Stafford is not going to go in the Hall of Fame, is he? No.
Yeah,
You think so?
for sure.
Maybe. Okay,
won a
maybe.
Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah, he won a Super Bowl.
Okay. I got it. Who's the guy over with the Chargers?
Justin Herbert.
Herbert. Okay, so Trey Lance is the Herbert of.
There we go.
There you
I'll
go.
take
Herbert
that.
of-
I'll
Yeah.
take that.
Yeah,
That makes more sense.
Yeah, we'll go with the Herbert of Dak Prescott's.
But I don't like honestly. I don't see CeeDee Lamb going to Cowboys, getting an extension. I think he's
Maybe not this season, but he's gonna get his money. He's gonna
He's,
get paid.
he's gonna get it somewhere.
I think he'll be a Cowboy.
No, I think he's gonna
No?
go to another team and get his money. I think he'll get his bag somewhere else.
Brandon Ayuk. They said he might stay with the.
Well, so reports say that 3 teams were involved with the trade, but it had to be the compensation to San Francisco had to be a second round pick, a second round and a top wide receiver or something comparison to Ayuk. So the Browns and the Patriots were, because the Steelers were out and the Browns and the Patriots were involved in it. Now, the compensation to San Francisco was good. It was just the money. Okay. I think Brandon Ayuk wanted $30 million. Then the Browns were like,
Well, yeah, because they were
they were going to give
threw
they were going to give up
Cooper in there.
Yeah, they were going to give up Amari Cooper and a second round, but I think the money just wasn't there. I think, or Ayuk just didn't want to go to Cleveland.
I think I'm just a biased Pittsburgh fan, and I'm sticking with
And
penciled in deal.
And I thought,
Pittsburgh
and me and Steve were talking about. I thought the Patriots were going to be a sure in because they were able to give up the compensation for San Francisco, and they were talking about giving them like $32 million a year.
But he don't want to go there.
He didn't want to go there.
They're not going to win.
But it's not that they would win. They would be a better
it would be an upgrade.
But if you want to, I mean, if you want to win, then stay on San Francisco. If you want to win,
or go to Pittsburgh,
you're not any closer to winning going to Cleveland.
No.
And I'm not saying for the Patriots,
Cleveland's
but
going to be dangerous this year, though. Like you can't sleep on them.
if Deshaun Watson
That's the thing.
If he can be first year the Texans Deshaun Watson.
The thing is that offense is low key loaded. I mean, you have Watson
but
on paper they look good.
But the problem is that you're paying Watson a lot of money,
Guaranteed.
and he's playing mediocre.
And another thing that's kind of weird is that is the reason why these players don't get paid is that if they get injured.
Exactly.
Well, like Watson, he got injured last year.
Yeah, he got injured, and they had to fucking go call up Joe Flacco that was sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
And said,
Hey, he went crazy though.
no, he did go crazy. He did go crazy. But that just tells you, like, was it the quarterback or was it the like a plug and play? I mean, if Joe Flacco can jump in there and ball out, then it's any quarterback could probably go in that Cleveland offense and ball out.
Okay, so where do you see these guys ending up? At the at the end of the season, Ayuk will be a
Pittsburgh Steeler.
They have a verbal agreement, and that's what I heard. But now it's been a couple days. So so is it the compensation of the money or what's going on?
Or
Like-
Washington, because I know Washington's
Washington's out.
too.
Washington's
they're out.
Yeah, they're out. They're not going to pay. They're not going to
so
pay.
who at the end of the season, where is he at?
I feel like he's going to
Black
stay.
and
I
yellow.
think he's going to stay in. I think he's going to stay in San Francisco. Ayuk play this year. If he wins a Super Bowl, then he has an opportunity to go into free agency and make some more money.
And you say
He's a Pittsburgh Steeler.
okay.
CeeDee Lamb, I see him going somewhere else.
Where?
I wouldn't mind seeing him going to the Patriots. It'd be a nice little pick, nice little option. He ain't winning now. Where is he going to go to win?
Buffalo.
That would be a good mix up right there.
Stephon Diggs is getting his name dragged through the mud right now.
Right.
That's what I heard.
So they might want to pick someone up to. Yeah. Okay. And they pay over there in
do.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So have you guys seen the new kickoff yet?
Yes.
Thoughts?
Garbage.
I think I need to get used to it. I think
Does it improve the flow? Does it decrease the flow?
I feel like
you might as well just do a fair catch.
Really? Is
Yeah.
it that bad?
well because they're I mean it was supposed to be so it would be more entertaining, more touchdowns, but I feel like it's not.
I feel like it's more challenging.
You think so?
I read somewhere that the average kick or the return from the first few games that went on today was at 26.5 yards.
What was it last season?
You know what? I didn't get that far yet. I worked all day.
What was it? Was it on the 26-yard line, or was it they gained 26 yards?
No, 26-yard line.
Okay.
Which
Okay.
they do it to
Yeah,
But
I
then
did
that would
notice
be-
that. I
that
did
would be an
notice a lot.
increase.
I did notice that, like, it's like once they catch that ball, I feel like they're only getting a few yards. They're not getting a lot. They're not getting a lot out of it.
Because they weren't getting any with the last kickoff. They
that's
were
true.
they were always they were probably like
taking a knee.
18, 19. Yeah, it
or
was
taking kneels.
a lot more fair catches.
Yeah.
So if the goal is just for there to be more kickoffs that are returned, voila.
Yeah.
I think it just has to sit in.
It just needs to
Yeah.
it's just something I need to get used to because I'm not used
Kudos
to
to
it.
the NFL
Yeah.
for taking something that was from a different,
Yeah.
from the XFL and making it their own. I
Right.
mean, it's the same thing with what the NBA did for the ABA way back when, and that's how we got the 3-point line and dunk contest. And
I think it just sucked, like, seeing guys like, Devin Hester from like this kickoffs. Like,
right,
if this is supposed to be more exciting, more touchdowns, and like,
what the fuck was he then?
right.
Yeah,
He was freaking nature, man.
and he's now a Hall of Famer.
But did you answer the first one?
Lamb and
Lamb,
I, like
yeah.
where they end up.
Yeah, I don't think we heard.
Yeah, we didn't hear from you.
I think they're both going to stay on their teams. Yeah, I think
And they're
both
gonna get
stay
paid?
put.
And they're gonna get
I
paid?
think they both are going to get paid. I think they're kind of at a stalemate right now because one wants to see what the other
But
like.
so but
Wide receivers usually cry in twos.
yeah, but the problem is the only thing is that when you pay that, and then you have to pay. Well, we already talked about Dak, and I think we talked about Purdy too.
Yeah.
But I don't see San Francisco letting Purdy go. Even though you said you could plug and play anybody on that offense, I don't see them letting
Well,
him
they
go
don't.
because
I don't think they have to because he's under contract for the next 3 years for like nothing, right?
I think it's next 2
I think
years.
it got made for both of them though, like on both parties, like for Brock Purdy's party and.
But Purdy's
Sanford's
not going to
party.
command.
No,
Purdy's not getting top 10 in the NFL salary.
no.
Purdy's getting paid whatever they decided to pay that kid in Detroit right now.
But
Jared
but
Goff
when
money.
time comes, I mean, I think he only has a couple more years on his contract, and there's no 5th-year option with that because he was a 4th-round pick.
Right.
So, I mean,
Just think about it. I mean, if you're thinking about the way that the NFL just operates, they operate
absolutely.
that they just want to prolong it as long as they can,
Yeah.
so you can get injured and they don't have to pay you.
but the
Like,
problem
that's
is,
just how it operates.
Yeah,
the
but-
5th-year option, like
yeah,
That's crazy.
but the problem is they're gonna have to pay Purdy.
Regardless.
Regardless.
I mean, but you're not. He's not gonna. Purdy's not gonna. You're not gonna lose a top 3 player on your team for Brock Purdy.
Yeah,
His salary
true.
isn't gonna affect your cap that much.
I mean,
It's
Is
not
it?
even. It's not even gonna be 10% of your cap. Like,
because of the new money's gonna be coming in.
well, not just that, but just the fact that he's just not that caliber of player. Like, he's not that guy.
But they'll pay
Not that
him.
guy,
But the
right
problem
guy.
is,
Not that guy,
that
but-
I feel like they're gonna pay. If he wants in the range of $57-58 million,
He's not gonna get 57-58 million. He's not.
If he wins a Super Bowl?
I think he knows he's not that guy. Like, I don't see Brock Purdy out here talking like he's big
That
shit.
guy.
He's not moving the way Colin Kaepernick was moving.
No, no.
Because Colin Kaepernick, he was that guy. He was the guy on that team.
But at the same time, and don't get me wrong, I respect Colin Kaepernick for everything that he did. But for him to give up his guaranteed money
Yeah,
and
it's
only
wild.
take $10 million, I was like, you are an idiot.
Well, yeah, but
Because he was betting on himself. And like,
and
I'm thinking to myself, like, why, bro? That's guaranteed money. That's
Yeah.
money. That's money. That's your money.
yeah,
Like,
my thing is like, what's their wide receiver with the wild hair? What's his name? For San Francisco, you know what I'm talking about?
wild hair.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Wild hair.
The tight end.
The tight end. Oh, Kittle.
Kittle. Brock Purdy won't make more than Kittle ever in his career, ever. He will never make more money per year than Kittle.
We'll just have to see, man.
And
He's
not that guy.
I'm not
And-
saying he's not that guy, but I mean, if you got a quarterback that's taking you to the playoffs, twice, and they might go again.
Oh, and then this will prove exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
George Kittle makes $13 million a year. Brock Purdy is going to make $10 million a year. There's no way he makes more, bro. He's not that guy. He's not the key to your offense, to unlocking your offense. And then who else do they have on the team?
McCaffrey, Debo.
No, I'm talking about other.
Oh.
Yeah.
Other
49ers quarterbacks.
There is Brock Purdy. I don't even know because they
Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs.
Didn't they just draft him?
No, Joshua Dobbs was the backup for Minnesota. Remember they picked him up?
Okay.
Yeah, they picked him up because Kirk Cousins was out. And they picked him up from they traded for him. I don't know where he was at before, but they traded for him. So Joshua Dobbs, in free agency, they picked him up.
Where did he end up going?
He went to the San Francisco 49ers.
For this season?
Yeah.
Oh.
But like Steve said, if Brock Purdy gets hurt, Joshua Dobbs can get plugged into that.
That's okay. Now that I see his face, he was in Arizona for a little bit, right?
Yeah. And then he went to to Minnesota last year.
Yeah.
And he was solid with Minnesota. He had that little
He had a little run, but then he had a little run, but then it just
Then he had that primetime game, and then it got real for him.
Yeah, it got real for him.
Yeah. No, Brock Purdy's never going to make more money than George Kittle,
No.
and George Kittle makes $13 million a year. Plug him in at $10 million. Promise you. Either that or they'll. I'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. Either they pay him $10 million or less, or they're going to trade him for a draft pick and draft another quarterback.
Unless they trade for Mac Jones.
Mac Jones?
There's players out there. I mean, is Brock Purdy better than Mac Jones? If you have to think about it, then what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Why is he getting why is he going to get $30 million? Like, why are you going to give that guy $30 million?
You think he's just a system QB?
Yes, 100%.
Well, that's what he was saying. Like, I feel like, because we talked about it in the last one, we were saying that 3 quarterbacks on the San Francisco offense, they've had 3 different quarterbacks and be successful in that offense.
It's the offense. It's not not the quarterback.
Yeah, like Garoppolo. Garoppolo was successful in that offense. Even after Brock Purdy, even after they signed him, they re-signed him to be the backup, and then Brock Purdy got hurt, and then Trey Lance got hurt, and then Garoppolo.
Yeah.
And what's Jimmy G now? Hot ass.
Yeah,
Where's he at? Rams now, right?
Yeah,
Backup for Rams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he'll probably get.
He's trying to do what Carson
He'll get a
Wentz.
shot.
He's trying to do what Carson Wentz did. Go to the Rams, have a couple good, get your mojo back, and then go fight for another starting spot somewhere.
Well, he ain't fighting over Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I mean, but be a serviceable. Like you're almost out of the league.
Yeah,
Wentz.
he's almost out the league.
So that's Jimmy G. He's almost out the league.
And that's sad, dude.
Yeah,
That's sad.
if you can't hack it here, you're almost out of the league, buddy. But he's good. He's a good backup for us to have for sure.
Yeah.
You know, just a
Good
proven
veteran
player.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's been to the Super Bowl. That knows what to do.
I mean,
Can let me ask you this, and it's sad for me to say this because Carson Wentz was at one time he was
The guy.
MVP.
Yeah, he was the guy.
Yeah.
And then it's like when he got that injury, I think it was his shoulder, his arm, or something like that. I can't remember what it
ACL.
was. ACL. Yeah, it was just like he was done after that.
Yeah.
Some things like that happen, man.
Yeah. It sucks, man.
What if Greg Oden had healthy knees? Like what if, and Brandon Roy's knees were healthy?
Yeah.
What if
And
Derek
LaMarcus Aldridge stayed with that team.
Yeah.
Then you're looking at a healthy Greg Oden, Brandon Roy, and LaMarcus Aldridge in the West battling the Lakers. Like that's a what if. But I mean, you'll never really know.
Right.
Well, all we got is the Carson Wentz we have now, and he can go play anywhere.
That's true.
So he showed it last season at least. But
Where was he at last year? The Commanders? No.
the Rams.
Was he
No.
with the Rams last? I thought it was the
He
Commanders.
was with Commanders.
Was it? No, I
It
thought
was the year
with-
before he was with the
And
Rams.
then, in Indianapolis.
Oh, in Indianapolis. Yeah. I forgot. Wow. Check on that, Steve, because I can't.
Can't confirm.
Because
He was with the Rams last season, and the year before he was with Washington, and then the year before he was with Indianapolis, and the year before that was when he was with the Eagles. So he was on the Rams last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember he played one of our last games.
It was kind of
when we
like
were locked into the
I
playoffs.
guess.
You know,
I
I
guess.
got confused of the 2 seasons
Or
ago
we
when they
can-
signed
or we can-
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was another one. And that was another one.
The Rams are really good at this. They I don't know how, they got a guy who can come in and back up Matthew Stafford, does a stellar job, goes somewhere and gets a starting job.
Right.
Carson Wentz pretty much went from the number 3 guy to now he's the number 2 guy on a team that can go to the Super Bowl. Right? He might get a shot.
Yeah.
In
Where is he at now?
Kansas City.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And Baker Mayfield starting in Tampa.
Doing
Yeah,
well.
and he got
doing well.
and he
Revived his career.
Got his bag.
Yeah.
I mean,
To
it's
get-
not a
to get
big
paid
bag,
Mike
but he got
Evans.
his bag.
To get paid again?
Yeah.
Like you usually if you get paid that one time,
That's
you
it.
don't that's it. And then you get paid that one time and you suck, that's it.
I
then he got paid again.
honestly think it was a big mistake for the Cleveland Browns. Even though
get rid of Mayfield?
to get rid of Mayfield. That was
It wasn't his fault.
No, it wasn't his fault. It was
I think so,
Cleveland.
too. I think it was a mistake.
It was a big mistake.
Yeah.
Because that Baker Mayfield was their guy.
Yeah. He was a Cleveland guy.
Yeah.
He was Cleveland after
They had a
LeBron left.
squad.
Yeah.
Cleveland had a squad.
No, but what I'm saying is that even on his rookie season, like
And he had
had a winning
swagger.
season.
and he had swag. I mean, his rookie.
You're going to a place that has a designated dog pound.
Yeah.
And you're Baker Mayfield and you have swagger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Browns would be the Browns.
And they said, hey, we can move on from you. I felt bad for him when he went to Carolina. I was like, damn. Y'all trying to kill this motherfucker right now. Y'all can. And then he goes. Then, like I said, he went to the Rams, revived it, and then came back.
Well, yeah,
went
because
to the Bucks.
What did he do? Had like a day and a half to prepare for that Rams game and won.
Yeah. Yeah, he was stellar.
Yeah, and then he went to the Bucks and balled out, and
Yeah.
got his money. I'm happy for him, man. I'm happy that he found a home where he can show up, show out. Because Cleveland, they're just gonna be in debt.
Yeah.
They're gonna be getting rid of motherfuckers just to
for free.
just to wipe Deshaun Watson that contract.
That contract
man.
is ridiculous, man.
Now, we're going to move to a different topic
ahead.
to give the NFL a rest, but we're going to move to the Olympics.
Okay.
So today, as of today that we're recording, the men's team won the gold medal for basketball.
Nice.
Yeah. LeBron was named FIBA basketball MVP, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Given the fact that he's 39 years old.
That is
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah. And is bigger, stronger, faster every year. I don't understand it. But as a Lakers fan, I love it.
He takes care of his body, man.
Also, the women's team is currently have been undefeated for the past 20 some odd games.
Yeah.
And they're looking to win gold there. I think it's the talent disparity between the Americans and the rest of the world is probably a lot bigger in the WNBA than it is in the men's team. The WNBA women's team is still more of a dream team.
Right.
The 3v3 teams struggled.
They got eliminated.
They took home the women's took home the bronze. I don't think the men medaled.
That's what I'm saying. The men's, I think they just got eliminated.
And it was funny because Ice Cube would mentioned that because he runs a 3v3 league, the Big Three, and he said, at this point, our 3 All-Stars, versus your 3 All-Stars, we look better than you guys. But the 3v3, they had some rules that did not allow them to use NBA or WNBA players. So those players that are playing are players who might not have made it. We had Jimmer Fredette playing, and Jimmer never made it in the league. So, also, did you guys watch track at all? Were you guys interested in the track?
I did not.
I seen Noah Lyles
Yep.
and Richardson, which I was so happy to see her
Yes.
back in the game because especially at like that that situation where she had with the weed,
Yeah.
and like they pretty much sent her to die for her career.
Yeah.
And she pretty much revived herself. And the way how she won, the facial expression that she gave the girl that she beat, they ran past. It was like, get out of my way. Like I'm taking this.
Not only that, the cool thing, one of the other cool things about Shikari, she took home a silver in one of her races. And in that race, I don't know if you guys know, but the United States, they don't stay in the Olympic Gardens ever, which is kind of funny. And the Olympic Gardens is notoriously disgusting. Like rats and like they found worms in their fish and all types of stuff. So the Americans, they stay in 5-star resorts. They don't do the Olympic Gardens. So it comes time for everybody to go, and Shikari, of course, is being shuttled from where the Americans stay, and everybody, and along with another gal, and everyone else is, coming from the Olympic Gardens to the site where they're going to be racing. Well, because they're not in a designated van, they can't get through to where everybody else got through. So they had to go around, and when they went around, I guess it was some miles they had to walk or something like that.
Oh, damn.
To get to where, so by the time that she actually reached everybody, she didn't have time to stretch, prepare, anything.
Oh, shit.
And she didn't have time for any of that, and she had already walked a very long way because she couldn't get in the same interest as everybody else. So by that time, it was time for her to race, and she still medaled. She still got silver in that race. Picked up another gold, and then Noah Lyles, he got a gold in the 100, which was a race that he wasn't even expected to run in, but he did get the gold, or he did get silver. I think either silver or bronze. In the 200, which is actually his event that he's.
Okay.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think he had COVID.
He had COVID
also.
and dropped out. Yeah.
Damn.
Had COVID and dropped out. And Simone Biles, she did her thing that she always does. Went out there, got multiple golds. It was not even close competition wise. She's up there with the Michael Phelps, with the the heavy hitters of Olympic history,
Right.
the dream teams.
Yeah.
Like she's goated forever.
Forever.
I don't think anybody will ever, it's just one of those. She's one of those.
Yeah.
Real quick. So Noah Lyles actually was pretty, he made a name for himself by calling out the NBA. And there's been a very spicy debate going on between track and field and the NBA, because Noah Lyles, his message was, in the NBA, what are you world champions of? The NBA is played in America. It's not played all over the world. It's one league in America. So how are you world champions? And he kind of he's world champions of what? Like where are we going with this? So a lot of the NBA guys said, hey, it's harder to win an NBA championship than it is to win a gold medal.
Oh.
And I wanted to see where you guys stood on that.
Well, I mean, United States basketball made their point today, proved their point today. They are world champions right now.
I mean,
But I
it's,
see his point where
They're world champions of a sport that they're world champions
in
of
their
a sport
league.
that they invented.
Yeah, and
Right.
it's their league. So
but it's more okay. But you're talking about from an NBA championship,
Right.
to the world. You're facing multiple. They're facing multiple countries, the best of the best in their countries, and a lot of those guys that are from different countries, they play in the NBA.
they do.
So
So-
which one do you think is more tough?
I'm going with Olympics.
No, I'm gonna go with the NBA.
I'm gonna go with the NBA as well.
Because NBA, they do have more talent. Because if you think about it, I mean, nowadays, a lot more talent's coming from outside the country too.
Yes, like for instance, France had the number 1 and 2 pick in the draft and the number 1 pick in the draft last season.
Yeah,
They have the defensive player of the year. The MVP has been a European for the past 4 years. If you want to count Joel Embiid, Embiid was born in Cameroon. He also has French citizenship.
I mean, Luca too. I mean,
if you look at the stars, it really, if you do the USA versus the world in your 2K, USA has a pretty fucking hard time.
They do.
You know? You can only LeBron and Durant us for so much.
Curry.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, yeah.
But athletically, US has better athletic.
I think the question is less talent and more competitive. Process.
Yeah.
They got that more fight in their heart. It means more to them.
Well, I understand that Olympians train all year for they train 4 years for their events.
Yeah.
And the Olympics, like, it comes around every 4 years. So when it comes around, you have to be healthy. You have to be ready. You have to be at the top of your game during that time. You have to do qualifiers and different things like that. Which one do you think that is more difficult? The years of preparation or an 82 game season?
That's the
Every year.
thing. I'm going with I'm still sticking with my stance, the Olympics, because I mean, yeah, you have an 82 game season. Yeah, okay, next season you can restart. The Olympics, you got to train all year for 4 years, just for that moment.
Right.
And like that one moment could be your one and only moment.
Right.
I mean, I guess you could say the same thing for 82 basketball season, but there's more of a chance you'll play again in a basketball game or basketball season than someone will in the Olympics. It just means a lot more.
And then, do you think that the talent? Do you think that a track and field athlete? Do you feel like track and field is harder than basketball as a sport?
No.
Which one's harder as a sport?
Basketball.
Okay.
It's a lot more endurance because I mean, yeah, you're running once on track. I mean, or going around once. Basketball, you're going multiple times back and forth.
The more I dig into it, the back and forth I go.
Right, and like basketball, it's mental.
Right.
Like, you got to come up with plays. You have to come up with a strategy. You got to study who you're playing against.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing in track. You got to see who's going to run faster
You
than
don't
you.
necessarily need to study competition and tendencies and different things and a playbook.
Right. And you're not going to watch film on track.
Just
Exactly.
Literally, just run faster. Yeah.
But yeah, I have to say I feel like NBA championship is a lot more. But no disrespect to the Olympics because that is an honor to play to
represent your country.
To represent your country and play with the best of the best. But if the US, but like I don't understand what he's saying because US just came in and played against the best of the world. And
is it justified being called a world championship if it's a league that's in America? Are we justified in calling them world champions? Champions of the basketball world is exactly how Tom Holland says it.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
I think so too, only because if you take that championship Boston Celtics team over to Europe, over to Australia, over to Korea, over to Africa, take them anywhere and let them play any competitive team,
They're winning.
They're destroying them.
Absolutely.
I think they beat Real Madrid. I think they beat the China leagues. I think they beat the best team in the Euro League
With their stars?
With just the Celtics.
Just the
Celtics.
Celtics.
Like Celtics.
Not their
Okay.
stars, but like you just take like the team like Real Madrid, who Luka played for before he came over. Like
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
them versus the Celtics. The Celtics are winning. So I think they do have the best competitive basketball team in the world because we have the best talent in the world, and there aren't many other talented players and teams put together in the world like the NBA. So
Right.
as it stands right now, medals wise, as of 4 hours ago, China is the leading medalist for gold. They have 39 gold to our 38.
Damn.
That's close.
That is close.
They have 27 silver to our 42, 24 bronze to our 42. So we are currently outpacing them. We have, and I mean, granted, we play more sports, we do more things.
Yeah.
You know, they have we have 30 more medals than they do.
Right.
But did you guys see the guy with the gun?
Man, bro.
You see it?
I
Legend.
I checked it out. Yeah.
Legend. So I guess shooting is
Is a
sport.
Is an Olympic sport now.
Yeah.
yeah, and so
But, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, like we talked about the other pod. I mean, they have breakdancing in there now.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's
Wait, they do?
it's going to be added, I think, at the
Is
next
it really?
Olympics. Yeah, and then flag football comes in 2028.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one was interesting because
is it what kind of is it? Just is you said it's just pistols?
line them up and shoot them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're shooting targets and different things like that, I believe.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny because they also have like the behind the back shooting.
Okay.
But it was funny because like you can have different assists for your eyes.
Okay.
And
Bro,
different glasses.
I've seen
and
that, and,
different
like-
things that they can do to make your vision more precise. And Buddy comes out. I think where was? Do you know where he was from? I think like Sweden or something.
Yeah.
I could be getting that totally wrong.
I think it was Sweden.
But he Buddy comes out and just has just his prescription glasses from fucking Walmart.
Some
Closes
readers,
one eye
some readers.
and wins. Yeah, he's got some fucking readers. Closes one eye and just like says fuck it. I don't need any of that extra shit. And
China got most golds in the shooting.
yeah.
They had 5.
And someone said that's pretty funny for a country that doesn't allow people to have guns.
South
Right.
South Korea with 3, and United States with 1.
For being
And
the land of the free and the right to bear arms.
We
sure
suck.
coming up
That's
shitty.
embarrassing, bro.
Yeah.
We suck.
We should be like the best in that shit. That's wild.
Wow.
Do you guys have any other takes on the Olympics at all?
No.
They finally got in that water and they were throwing up.
I heard.
Yeah.
So it's not as clean as we thought.
Yeah, but I think overall, from what I've heard, like Paris is not the cleanest.
But but we just talked about it. They paid $1 billion. What was it?
$3 billion,
$3
I
billion
believe.
to clean the water. And then
Neglu.
Don't they have the floor toilets where you squat
Do they?
in Paris? I don't know. I know they have them in some places, in a lot of places in Europe.
Yeah.
Where you just
where?
Well, I don't think I want to go to Paris now.
nah, I don't.
I don't want to.
Somebody told me it was
That was
trash
a waste.
before
Hey,
the Olympics.
that was a waste of $3 billion.
I
They
think
still
it
got
was.
sick.
Huh?
I said they all still ended up sick.
Yeah.
Their fish has worms in it. Like, what are we doing?
That's disgusting, man.
Terrible.
What's next on the?
Major League Baseball. To give everybody an update on the MLB. You're a Cubs fan, and then you're a Sox. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
even wearing the hats.
I know.
One's Cubs, one's Sox. That's pretty funny.
Yep.
Right now in the American League, Baltimore is leading with 70 wins. Cleveland comes behind them with 68. Houston with 61. Right behind them in the wild card, the Yankees are only a game behind Baltimore right now. I'm a big, huge Yankees fan, so that's
we
good
know.
news to hear. And the White Sox are at the bottom of the.
Did they hit that? They're probably the worst.
They're at 91 losses for the year.
Yeah.
So they hit
could
that
lose
record.
I don't know what the record is for losses, but I mean to lose 100 games.
I think in order for them to beat the record, to have the worst season, they had to win only a third of their games, and right now they're only winning a quarter of their games, which is it's crazy. Like yesterday, I went to the game. Yesterday, I'm post MLB trade line or
Yeah.
deadline, and I'm like, I only knew a couple players from the White Sox there.
And players can still be traded right now if they're not on the 40-man roster. So there's still some moves that they could be making right now, but it doesn't look like they're very.
We all know the Sox ain't making no moves.
No.
Yeah. In the National League, the Phillies lead the National League with 69 wins. Dodgers, but right behind them with 67. Milwaukee 67, and then you got San Diego and Arizona coming right behind them. The Dodgers are a pretty interesting team. I mean, they don't have much pitching, but besides that, their lineup is literally the best in the league right now, minus maybe the Yankees and Baltimore's got a lot of talent, but
It's just weird to see Baltimore doing this well.
Yeah.
and they have a really young team.
And I feel like they're way ahead of schedule. I think they're like 3 or 4
Very.
seasons ahead.
They're way ahead. Donner Henderson's coming out of there. I mean, it's just they have good players, not just that are with the team now, but they have a lot of prospects too.
Yeah.
They got a lot of prospects.
Yeah.
They're the team that we're worried about
Yeah.
with the Yankees.
Yeah. Don't worry about the Sox. They're
And then when it comes to the Cubbies are in literally in the middle of the pack. They're literally right in the middle of everything with 59 wins right now, 60 losses. They are currently 3.5 games back of the wild card, and
That
I think they're
team's
6
so
games.
disappointing.
They're 6 games back in their division.
I think that team's so disappointing. I feel like they were
it's-
projected to do so much better. They were
I
supposed
think
to be
they're-
so much better, but
I think we have to not confuse hype with projections.
yeah.
okay.
Because they are a middle of the line team. They don't have deep talent. They don't have lights out pitching. They don't have dynamic defense. They don't have
Not like they used to. Not like they used to.
not like that championship team for
That
sure.
championship team was
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
Yeah. They don't have pieces.
No.
That championship team had pieces with personality and they had culture.
Yeah.
And the Cubs are trying to find culture right now. They do not have a good culture.
And that's the thing that pisses me off about the Sox. And I think we talked about it too, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
It's they don't want to pay anybody.
Yep.
And they thought in their mind, they were like, well, we can do what we did back then and won us the World Series by developing in the draft. When we had those hard hitters, we had pitching, we had pretty much everything that we needed to win a championship.
And the
Yeah.
game's changing now. Like,
And now it's like when there's big hitters, big pitchers, playmakers that we can grab. We have the money to do it. They just don't want to get. They don't want to. They don't want to give. They don't want to do it.
it's crazy. Like the White Sox went backward from when they were playing against Houston. What was that, a wild card game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that White Sox team was good.
Yeah.
And then after that was it.
And the White Sox had what that 2016
Yeah.
Cubs team had.
They did.
They had characters. They had guys with names. They had when they played the Yankees in the Field of Dreams game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that team at?
Right.
You know? And that team had lights out. That team had a nasty starting 5 pitching. If that team if those players were still on the team now, along with the 2, rising stars that they had that they could have traded over the break that they didn't.
Yeah.
Freed and I can't remember the other pitcher. But they got 2 lights out pitchers now to go along with. What are we doing?
Right.
They don't want to pay anybody, so
They just want to just keep trying to develop in the draft, and that's not working.
It's sad to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very sad to see.
as far as baseball goes, we're winding down. You're really getting to see where everything is at and who's gonna be there. Do you guys have a pick for the World Series? We're getting really close.
I like to see Philly.
Philly versus. It's gonna be. You're gonna see Baltimore, Cleveland, Houston, Yankees, Minnesota. Or
I think
Kansas
that's
City.
what I want to see. I want to see Baltimore.
You want to see Baltimore just for how young they are?
Just how young they are. It's like I want to see I kind of want to see like a Cinderella story out of them. You know what I mean? Just from where they came up. So
That'd be cool.
yeah, I'd be pretty excited to see Baltimore.
I don't see. I don't see. I think Atlanta is going to come out of the National League.
Yeah, because they're creeping up.
Yeah,
They are creeping
Yeah.
up. They've been
I think
quiet, but they've been doing it.
I think Atlanta is gonna make it out of the wild card this season.
Yeah.
and I think Atlanta is the only team that can beat the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I don't see the Phillies beating the Dodgers. I don't see Milwaukee, and then of course I'm a Yankees fan, so I think this year is a make or break season. You have Juan Soto, you have you have Aaron Judge, you have pitching.
Just got Jazz.
You just got Jazz. You know,
Who's been killing it ever
yeah,
since.
You just got, Gleyber Torres is hitting better. Stanton's hitting.
Yeah.
Stanton's back.
Yeah.
You're gonna get some starting pitching back in a couple weeks.
Right.
You're gonna get some relievers back in a couple weeks. I see them having a great September.
Yeah.
And getting hot in September because we already had our worst part of the season.
Yeah.
And I see them tearing through. As long as we don't have to see Houston, we're good.
Yeah.
And
I don't think Houston.
we're not going to see
even like
Houston.
that anyway.
No, we're not going to see Houston.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that too.
Yeah, let me double check. Yeah, you'll probably see Seattle instead of Houston. So, yeah, no, I'm praying to God that we don't have to deal with Houston and that we can just that'll be it.
Right.
But besides that, speaking of baseball, Crosstown Classic is going on right now.
Yeah.
It's over now.
Who won?
Cubs.
Cubs won. We all know
Both
that.
games?
Yeah.
All right.
To be funny, last night was firework night after the Cubs did beat the White Sox. White Sox had fireworks for the Cubs fans yesterday.
Why do they do that?
So
It's just bad decision making in that
Yeah.
building. It's just nothing but bad decision making.
I've never felt so welcome somewhere to be a Cubs fan.
Yeah, look, babe, they did fireworks for us.
Even my son, like, I was walking him out, we were walking out the stadium yesterday, and he's singing "Go Cubs Go" at a guaranteed rate field loud as he can, and like he
Savage.
had others, he had other like Cubs fans singing it, and like it was cool to see because like other Sox fans, like they're like looking at him like they're like, all right, it's funny.
We can't
You
say
can't
anything.
even say
even get
nothing.
mad.
Nope,
Can't even
nope.
get mad.
You can't, and he's singing at the top of his lungs, and I'm like, this is cool.
That's dope. That's dope. So we touched on baseball, football. We touched on a little bit of basketball. Not much going on. This is like the low time in the season or the off season for the NBA. The players are going to get some rest and then they're going to report within the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
TNT. I put that down because TNT is actually owned by Warner. And have you ever looked at how much debt Warner is in?
Yeah.
It is
It's a lot.
insane.
It is.
It's like $50 billion or something.
Yeah.
And they just added more for Charles.
Well, and then also like they have the debt, and then they purchased. I know because I worked for them. They purchased DirecTV, and they lost their ass on all that. Lost their ass on HBO. Lost their ass on HBO Max and all that other shit. Like, Jesus Christ. So it kind of makes sense to me why the NBA decided to deal with Amazon versus Warner.
Because they don't want to be in that debt.
Right. And
They don't want to
is-
catch that.
They want to make sure they get their money,
Yeah.
And Amazon has money.
and Amazon's killing it right now.
But
Yeah.
but is that what we were talking about? Was that something that we were talking about the last podcast? About like the TV rights and all that?
Yeah.
So
They
so TNT was like, because they have like a clause in their contract.
they're trying to fight right now to have the right to have the NBA's business.
Right. So they're matching the offer.
Yeah, so they say they have a matching clause in their contract that says that if the NBA finds another contract with someone else, they have the right to match it, and if as long as they match it, they're good. And the NBA is like, we're moving on with Amazon. And Warner is like, well, I mean, read your contract. This is what it says. So I mean, now it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
why,
because
why?
how could they match it if they're already in so much debt as it is?
They just pay the money
Yeah.
instead of paying other shit.
Don't even know how they're paying the money, but
Yeah,
You
that's what I'm saying.
Pay out of their profits and incur more debt. But the thing is like Warner might not be a thing in a couple years.
That's what I'm saying.
So if they sign a 10-year contract, like now, like I kept going back and forth in my head, like why are they trying to get off the NBA so bad? Like, or why is the NBA trying to get off Warner so bad?
And that's why.
yeah.
And it was funny because I actually found this out. Looking at Warner Music. Warner Music just fired their, I think it was some executive somewhere got fired, and Kanye posted about it. And I think it was Warner. And then the new CEO that came in said that they want their money right now. And on the podcast that I was watching, they were like, well, why does Warner want their money right now? And they were like, well, did you look at how much debt Warner Music is in? And Warner Music is in $3 billion of debt. Shit. So that's Warner Music.
Wild.
That's Warner Music. And so that made me think of, Time Warner. And I looked up and I found out that Time Warner doesn't even own that company anymore. Warner Music and Time Warner aren't related, but they kind of trend the same. I mean, it's the same people in the building. Right. They sold off the company, but it's kind of the same thing. And now you're looking at it from an aspect of, all these bad investments, investing in HBO and investing in DirecTV, which is a satellite company now that everybody's moving to streaming, cable's going away and, they keep losing subscribers. It's just down the rabbit hole I went. And I just find it like that's the reason why.
That's the reason why
the
NBA wants
they want to sever ties.
I honestly think since you brought that to our attention, like just the whole situation.
Yeah.
Even though they do have it in their clause that they can match that deal.
Yeah.
But I feel like the NBA could probably get out of they can get out of that deal.
I think TNT taking the L on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
the NBA is just going to make it back up with Amazon.
Yeah, and then TNT has deals with other sports.
Yeah.
So like they were doing hockey and different things like that. Like you would see Charles Barkley doing college basketball stuff and hockey stuff and different stuff like that. So I mean they'll have work for those other teams
For now. Until they start going to Amazon and
I mean
I'm sure Netflix is probably going to put a move on it too.
Yeah. They were trying to get ahead of it. That streaming game, that's a different type of game, man.
Look how many streams are for the NFL right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hulu, Prime.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They like pretty much Netflix will probably get a little piece of that.
YouTube got the whole NFL package now.
Exactly.
You got Fox and ESPN coming together for an app to make it an all-inclusive, everybody can see everything app. And Fox and they're not sworn enemies, but they're competitors for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So for the game's definitely fucked up for them to be teaming up together to get their money together.
Exactly.
To stop the bleeding. So I don't know. I just thought that was pretty interesting.
No, that is very interesting.
I think so too.
I feel bad for I don't feel bad for Warner Brothers. They put themselves in that situation.
Yeah. So weekend plans? What are you guys up to?
Work.
Yeah.
Work tomorrow, but next weekend I might be going to Fan Expo.
Okay.
In Chicago and Rosemont.
I'm getting up early, 7:45. Got to pack and
where are you going?
I have to do a small meeting at 9 for regular job, and then we're going to go pick up an RV from Pella, Iowa.
Oh shit!
5.5 hours away.
There you go.
So we're gonna go pick an RV up from there, hook it up, trailer it. We're gonna trailer it to Pella or to like just the campground that we're staying at, and then the next day we're gonna drive it about 5 hours, stop at another campground, clean it inside out, and then take it to its final destination the next morning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
think I might go see my 15th game for the year this week.
Oh, let's go. Turn up.
I was gonna do White Sox or Cubs, but I was like, you know what? For the 15th game, I'm gonna go to a stadium that I've never been to before,
Oh, okay. Milwaukee?
Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Milwaukee's
heard
very,
there's a very
Milwaukee's
nice
nice.
stadium.
It is very nice. I went there in July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then what's crazy about it is that after the game, now as crazy as it gets, because it was Cubs versus the Brewers, it was hard to get in that bitch. Like, it was hard.
So go early.
Go early if you're
Okay.
if you want your seat.
Milwaukee traffic is different, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Milwaukee traffic is like,
But
it's like
even
weird.
even when it was open all the way, like they told us to go all the way around, go to the back. You know what I mean? And there was like openings everywhere, and I was like, okay. And we didn't sit down to watch. I mean, it was probably like the top of the fourth or fifth inning by the time we got in there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah.
Wow.
That's how packed it was, and there was a lot. There literally Cubs fans crazy up in that bitch. I was like, there was a lot more. I feel like a lot more Cubs fans were there than Milwaukee fans.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I was like, it ain't even that serious.
Yeah, I gotta go.
And then, but what's crazy? The funny story. Well, it's not a funny story because people got hurt. So I guess, we left early. I think we left probably the end of the ninth because they were already winning. The Cubs were already winning. So I was like, let's try to get out so we beat the traffic and all that. So we get out. I get a message from Joe, one of our buddies from work, and he's like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" Well, just found out the I guess like the escalator collapsed. And like 11 people got minor injuries, but 4 had to go to the hospital.
Jeez.
Wow, that's
And it
crazy.
didn't collapse. What it did was, I guess, because there were so many people in the capacity of the escalator decided to like basically move faster than what it was supposed to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it basically, I don't know if it was like it was like a safety lock where it just decided to just run quicker. And a lot of people got hurt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
it was
I'm
crazy.
not taking the escalator.
Well, I mean, I was kind of, because we took the ramp down. We just went down the ramp and all that. And Joe's like, "Are you all right?" And I had like a few other friends because I told them I was over there, and they were like, "Hey, Greg, you okay, dude? Are you hurt?" I'm like, "Fuck you guys talking about?" And then I started reading up on it. I'm like,
Oh
I
man.
was like, "Fuck."
Oh, 14 out of a couple thousand. It's not
Yeah.
the odds of you getting hurt.
But them 14 people about to get paid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for
They
sure.
about to get paid.
Just give me a contract
For
at
sure.
that point.
They about to get paid. They gonna make a few million off that each.
Damn.
Must be nice.
Well, that'll be it of the sports panel. That's what it is. So many shows.
It is.
Yeah. That'll be it from the sports panel. You guys, thank you for rocking with us, and you guys be safe out there.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.